So this is lesson 1.2 activity 3. In this unit, you're going to be using a populations and resources simulation to help you learn about why the jelly population in Glacier Sea increased. So remember that simulations are scientific models, and scientists often make and use simulations to study things they cannot observe or measure directly. So for example, simulations like this one allow ecologists to observe changes that they can observe in real populations of ecosystems. So this simulation is based on how real populations interact and will help us observe and understand how things work in an ecosystem. So, curveball, you cannot just click on this blue link and have it open the sim. So there's a few units in Amplify that require you to download the simulation as an app. So what you need to do is you need to go to self-service and you need to type in populations and resources, and you will see that there's an app there and you need to install it. So every time we use the sim from here on out, instead of clicking on this blue link, you need to go to the app on your iPad. If you click on this blue link, it will take you to the App Store, and then you're going to think it doesn't work or it's broken, and it's not that. You're just forgetting that you can't use this link. So you need to pause the video, go to self-service, search populations and resources, and download that app. When you're done downloading the app, when it's fully downloaded and you can use it, you need to come back and press play on the video. So now that you have the populations and resources simulation downloaded, I want you to take a few minutes, 5 minutes or however long you want, and explore the sim. Try to figure out how it works. So as you're doing that, you should be thinking about, what do the different buttons do? What do you notice about what you can change in the sim? And what questions do you have about the sim? One thing that you need to note is that we are going to be doing, as stated right here in the instructions, repopulations intro mode. So this is what the sim will look like when you open it, and you're going to be using the repopulations intro. So I'll click on that, and then there's the simulation. So pause the video, take a few minutes, check it out, and then when you're done checking out, come back and I'm going to highlight some of the features. Now that you've explored the video, let's go over a few features that you should know how to use. So you can use this tracking activity drop-down menu up here, and this highlights all the organisms that are doing whatever you select. So if I want to see all the ones that are eating, it highlights them. If I want to see all the ones that are reproducing, it highlights them. Dying, highlights them. So that's one way to track what's happening in the sim. You can also tap on an individual organism. So I'm going to zoom in, and you can tap on an individual organism to track what it's doing. So a pop-up will appear, and it will give you information about what it's doing. So it's just walking around. Now it just died of old age. So let's click on this. It's reproducing, being eaten. So it tells you what's happening to it. Let's see if we can click on, you could pause it also, so then you could click on one easier. So again, this is tracking the animals, or the organisms, I should say. So you can also add or remove organisms using the control panel, which is this little arrow here. So I can add green leaves if I want, I can subtract, and you should note that if you press and hold, it'll go faster than if you just tap on it. So it goes up by 5s once you press and hold. Then you can also see you can change the oxygen level there. And then the last thing I want to show you is, and didn't want to do that, is you can have a food web overlay. So you can press a food web, which will show you a little overlay of this, so you can still play it and then watch this at the same time. And then we press analyze, and we get numerical data So I can change this window. So let's say here I make a change, and then you can see that something happened. So I can compare from before to after in this window. So that's where the changes are important. Anyways, we'll talk about more of that later. So if I go back to run, and you can see this food web, each of these circles represents a population. So together these populations make up the ecosystem modeled in the sim. So the plants, the green leaves, wee bugs, and furbills. So these are the three organisms that make up this ecosystem, the three living organisms. Alright, so you're going to use the sim now in an activity, and you're going to investigate what can happen to organisms in a population. So you're basically just observing. So it says launch the sim. I have the sim open. Track an individual organism from any population. Observe and record what it does and what happens to it in the table. Track another organism from another population. Observe it and record what it does and what happens in the table. So repeat until you observe and record the information for at least 3 organisms. So I'll go one example. Get rid of the food web. Click on this guy. So it's walking around. It's eating. Walking around. So I'm going to so things that the organisms I tracked did. Walked around, ate. So that's all you're doing here. And then things that happen to the organisms you tracked. So nothing happened to that organisms at that time, so there's nothing to write. So you'll track all 3 organisms and see what you can do. Fill out what it did, what it does. Example, 8 other organisms, or like I wrote, and then what happened to the organism that you tracked. Okay, let's see here. So I want you to complete the activity, pause the video, complete the activity, and then come back to the video. So this is lesson 1.3, or I'm sorry, lesson 1.2 activity 3. So pause it, go and fill this out, and then you could also add a row here if you wanted to separate the organisms, like this is one organism and then this is another one, etc. So go complete this and then come back to the video. Alright, now that you completed the activity, some of the things that you should observe the organisms doing are walking around, chasing prey, eating and reproducing. So that's this right here, walking around, chasing prey, eating and reproducing. And then some of the things that happen to organisms that you tracked would have been organisms were eaten, starved, organisms died of old age. So yeah, I get it. You could just skip ahead, but whatever. So in the sim, we observe that organisms reproduce, meaning they have babies. We also observe organisms dying. These two things happen in all populations. Organisms are always being born and always dying. This is important because it is one of the things ecologists need to understand as they investigate changes in population sizes. So this is our first key concept. Within a population, organisms are always being born and dying. And we're going to continue to explore that throughout this unit. So you're going to go to the homework after this, after you make sure you press hand in on your work. And then you're going to do the homework. Remember, Glacier Sea is a fictional place, but it's based on a real Arctic ecosystem. And for the homework, you're going to read about a real Arctic ecosystem and choose a population that in that ecosystem to learn about. So preface, in the Arctic ecosystem set, when you click on this, you need to make sure you know how to, so here's the intro paragraph. You need to click on the table of contents, and you're going to read about one of these. And for those of you who want to read about more, you can read about more, but you're supposed to pick one, read about it, and annotate. Just follow the instructions.